The all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid doesn't just turn heads. It commands respect. With its stunning exterior, luxurious interior with available captain seats, and spacious third-row seating and equipped with advanced technology, you and the family are making a statement before you even step out. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more and experience the all-new 2026 Palisade Hybrid today.
Did my card go through?
Oh no.
Your small business depends on its internet, so switch to Verizon Business. And you could get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE business internet, 25 megabits per second, unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
Tonight, turn down the noise of the day and focus on the rest with AGZ, the nightly drink for winding down and resting up. New from AG1. AGZ supports your body's natural sleep cycle with clinically studied key herbs, adaptogens, and minerals in amounts supported by research. And no melatonin, helping you wake feeling rested. Wind down, rest up with AGZ. Learn more at drinkagz.com.
Detroit Koolaid listeners, it's your boy at Chops in the D coming at you back-to-back weeks. Solo flagship show. You know how we do.
Drink it in, man.
And you know when we serve up that Kool-Aid, we gotta hit it with a double-sided cornbread.
Cornbread!
Oh, there we go. Hey, folks, it is the Wednesday edition of the Detroit Koolaid Cast, the flagship show. I know you guys have probably been missing the packets. You haven't had a packet in a little while here. We've been nailing down the flagship show here. You know how we like to do. We serve it up for the people, and you know who the people are. Let me say it.
The millions!
And millions of the Detroit Kool-Aid listeners. So listen, hey, huge Monday Night Football game, Lions versus Bucks. We're going to dive into a recap here. I think I got a little plan here. I think I'm going to go score by score, play by play, give you guys the rundown on the game. I know that you watched the show. I know that you watched you've probably watched all the highlights. You know all the hot topics. We're going to dive into them. We're going to give you the scoring play by play. I'll give you some team stats like I like to do because, I like some stats. And then we're probably going to give you some player comps. Go over some really just jaw-dropping numbers. I want to get into a little bit of maybe this guy. I think he's got a couple of different names, but the one thing that we know is that he's elite. I'm going to do it that way because I'll wait. I'll save the gimmick for later. But I want to get into Jahmyr Gibbs, as I like to call him. Just a heck of a performance on Monday Night Football there. So we'll talk about maybe a few other pieces on the offense there, and then I want to dive into the big topic, and really it's about this Lions defense. I'll get you all the stats. I'll give you the comparisons. I'm going to give you lots of Kool-Aid on the defense because we got to give Shep his flowers because man, what a absolute masterclass put on by the Lions defense. Talk about next man up mentality and just the systems that they've run and the positions that they put these players in, where it doesn't matter what the name on the name patch on the back is. You're playing for one pride and the logo on the front. So just a great culture there that we built on that defense. And then we'll end the show with a little bit of hype, a little bit of where we're at, where we're going, what's coming up soon. Lions are heading into a bye week, so they're going to get a nice little break here. Maybe get some bodies healthy. We'll talk all about that. So let's dive right into this recap of the game here. Of course, the final score, 24-9, Lions. And as much as I want to call it a easy dub for the Lions, it actually kind of really was an easy dub for the Lions, but they made it feel a little bit closer than it really was throughout this game. So, of course, we start out first quarter, Lions rolling. They accept the ball, 6 plays, 69 yards, 3 minutes, and it's culminated with a score by my boy, Amon-Ra. And I'm going to tag and stash for that one too. Amon-Ra. 27-yard pass down the field from my boy Jared Goff to to ARSB to put us up right off the bat, 7-0. If you were late to the game, folks, because I know there was some confusion. Some people thought it was an early, like straight up right at 7 o'clock kickoff. If you tuned in at 7:05 or 7:10, you missed the opening drive touchdown by ARSB because the Lions didn't mess around. They didn't have time to mess around, just like we don't have time to mess around on the show. Right off the gate, 7-0 Lions. And then the defense just starts us off great. Tampa comes in 3 and out. 3 plays, 7 yards, 2 minutes, out. Lions come back, get the ball. I think we run 4 plays for 25 yards, and this is where Jared Goff is actually sacked. So, Tampa Bay gets to him, sack, fumbled by Diabli, recovered by Tampa Bay. So not a great start or a second drive there for the Lions after going up 7-0. My boy Jared Goff has a fumble, but the defense comes right back in and forces another 3 and out. I think 3 plays, 1 yard. A minute later, they're already punting the ball back to the Lions. And in fact, they may have even had like several negative plays on there. So Lions get the ball back. It's still the first quarter here. We go on a 10-play, 71-yard drive. This was, quite a bit of passing here. This is Jahmyr Gibbs, a 24-yard pass there. And unfortunately, this is one of those rare opportunities where we know, it doesn't happen very often, folks, but it was 4th and 2 at the Tampa 15. And you know what? Dan freaking Campbell said F them points, and he just said we're going to go for it. Unfortunately, the pass falls short. My boy Vanilla Smooth is not able to get his hands on this ball that Jared Goff throws. So we turn it over on downs to end the first quarter. Still 7-0. And at that point, after the way the defense had played, it felt like we had, it could have easily been, 14-0, if not 17-0. Defense continues to shine. Another 4-play, 32 yards, and they forced a punt. So for those of you keeping score, that's punt, punt, punt for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with, I think, like barely any yardage. Lions come back, have another 4-play, 8 yards, and then they're forced to punt. And then again, another punt by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In case you're keeping track, that's 6 in a row. Lions come back, 4 plays, 87 yards. And you know what this was. This was all set up by that Jahmyr Gibbs 78-yard touchdown run. Woo! 22 miles per hour. Oh, great run by Jahmyr Gibbs. Nobody could catch him. He hit the open field. Great blocking. I believe we accepted a penalty on that drive as well. But again, Lions are up 14-0. Ensuing kickoff right back to the Bucs. 3 and out. -1 yards. Are you noticing a trend here, folks? That's 8 straight punts. Lions get the ball back. They go 3 and out. Punt there. Right off, then the very next play, Baker Mayfield has a pass completed to Shepard, who fumbles, forced fumble by Amik Robertson, and then of course recovered. I believe that was actually by Hutch. So 1 play, 1 yard, and a fumble. Lions get the ball right back in enemy territory. Unfortunately, we are not able to move the ball at all, and then we miss the field goal there. The very next play by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, interception by Mallett, who just absolutely rips the ball away from Cade Otton. Had to go to a video review. First it was a catch, then it wasn't a catch, then it was all this. Then they realized, nope, actually Mallett had the interception. Cade Otton had to play defense, and he didn't play it well enough because the Lions get the ball back. So that's 2 straight plays with a fumble and an interception, a Lions missed field goal in between, and then of course the Lions come back and throw their own interception right there. Jared Goff intended for, I believe, ARSB, and Dean was able to get his hands on that, and that leads to a field goal that ends the half. So we're sitting at halftime. It's 14-3. It feels like at that point it could probably be like 30-3. Tampa has literally done nothing. Lots of punting. They get their field goal, so they got a point there, but fumbles, interceptions, punts, that's all Tampa's doing. And you're like, okay, you're going into the third quarter. We're feeling good, right? Because the lines are up, but we feel like, okay, is the shoe going to drop? Is Tampa going to somehow find a way to get their way back in this game? And, those thoughts did not subdue, because the first drive of the third quarter, 11 plays, 67 yards. And, Baker Mayfield is able to throw a touchdown pass to Tez Johnson, the rookie, 22 yards. They attempt the 2-point conversion, and that fails. So at this point, it's 9-14, and you're going, okay, what are the Lions going to do? Folks, don't worry. This is what the Lions are going to do. They're going to put together 7 plays, 73 yards, a 4-minute drive, and again, another Jahmyr Gibbs 5-yard rushing touchdown on that one. I think the play before was a short pass where he got to the open field, 28 yards from my boy Jared Goff, and the Lions just punch it right back in the end zone to go up 21-9. And again, from there, it's like you're feeling good. Like this is our game, right? Tampa gets the ball back, 3 plays, punt. Shocker. Another one, 3 plays, 3 and out, punt. And then we go back and forth in the fourth quarter. Lions have 10 plays, 25 yards. They're forced to punt. Tampa getting desperate, knowing they're down 2 scores. They go for it and they turn it over on downs. Lions are able to use the short field advantage there and kick a field goal. And then the next play, Tampa, 18 plays, 60 yards. 5, almost a 6-minute drive there, but again, the Lions defense just stands up, and it's a turnover on downs that we force. So again, Baker is not able to hit. Actually, I believe that in this case, like Mbuka was open, and he, Whiteside made a really nice defensive play there on 4th and 8 to, again, incompletion, turnover on downs. And the defense is just showing up. And at this point, it's basically in the bag. The Lions get the ball back. There's less than, I think there's less than 2 minutes left, maybe 3 minutes left. We go 3 and out. We were able to run some time off the clock. And then at that point, it's over. So the Lions victorious by 15 points, 24-9. And folks, I touched on it a bit here, but I really want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had himself a day. 20 touches, 218 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Of course, that 78-yard touchdown run that we talked about where he just hit 22 miles an hour, breaking records, speed records, just absolutely dynamic. To go along with those 17 carries, 3 receptions for 82 yards, one of them a 30-yarder. Jahmyr Gibbs was just all over the field, and it was great to see. Not a whole lot of demo. The funny thing is, again, another stat that kind of jumped out at me, like David Montgomery somehow managed 13 carries to Jahmyr Gibbs' 17, and he only had 21 yards. So he, Demo, faux show, was not feeling it today, but Jahmyr Gibbs was enough. We had enough Sonic to make up for the lack of Knuckles that we had in today's game, but dude, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's just so, again, I'll play the gimmick. He's elite. I'm not going to give the multi-dimensional because I just don't do it as well as the host of the show. But, dude, Jahmyr Gibbs is just on fire. And the thing I love about this guy is, like, when Tampa was really wanting to put on the blitz, Jared Goff was able to get dump-offs. And then when you get Jahmyr Gibbs in open field with time and space, he's going to make something happen, like, every time. But the great thing is that he's not just a one-trick pony either. The guy can rush up the middle. He's had some amazing jukes and dekes, several times where, he makes a move and, like, I think he makes a stop and go move and both Tampa defenders run into each other and he just cuts right back up the middle to pick up another like 20 yards. So the guy was all over the field, dancing around, stop and go moves, cut moves, just a great day, and a great day for Jahmyr Gibbs. And I said at the beginning of the season, and I think a lot of people kind of shrugged their shoulders and thought I was, drinking a little bit of too much of that Kool-Aid. I think drink a little bit of this.
Drink it in, man.
When I said that Jahmyr Gibbs was the number 1 running back in the league, I think I took a lot of heat. I really did. But I think that this stands up. The guy is splitting carries pretty much even with David Montgomery, and he is putting up ridiculous numbers. Not only touchdowns, but yardage as well. Again, everybody wants to clamor over Saquon, Christian McCaffrey gets a lot of love. For some reason, Bijan Robinson still keeps getting a ton of love in Atlanta, but dude, Jahmyr Gibbs is the number one running back in the league, and I will go toe for toe with anybody that wants to debate. And the crazy thing is he does it like so without any fanfare. Like, I think if you ask people around the NFL, oh, who's the best running back? Like, probably 1 out of 10 would say Jahmyr Gibbs. But the guy absolutely has all the stats to back it up. He's having a hell of a season, averaging 8 yards a rush. It's just, his season stats are absolutely crazy. Right now he's sitting at 104 carries for 526 yards. I'm sorry, 5.1 yards per carry. That 8 yards per rush was this game. But 6 touchdowns, again, that long is 78. And again, he's doing it. It's 26 receptions already for almost 200 yards and a tug. So he can do it on the ground. He can do it in the air. He's just multidimensional. Positionless. I'm not going to make you wait for it. Elite weapon.
Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes with an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime Video.
That's going to be caught.
This week, the Minnesota Vikings head west to face the Los Angeles Chargers.
They'll take that all day.
Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with football's best party. TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Vikings and the Chargers, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Jahmyr Gibbs, I hope you guys are appreciating what he's doing out there because, this combo pack that we got with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely the best 1-2 punch. And it's nice that the national media is starting to give him some love there. So Jahmyr Gibbs, just absolutely running the offense today on a day where Jared Goff was a little off. I mean, Amon-Ra, ho-hum Amon-Ra, I think, let's see here, 6 catches for 86 yards and that tug, 14-yard average per catch. But he's another one that just doesn't do much. That it's not like super flashy, but it's like you blink. Oh, yep, Amon-Ra's got another 8-catch game, another 6-catch game, like 10 targets every game. But this offense is just clicking on all cylinders. Today was a day where the Laporta supporters had to kind of take a back seat and, only 3 receptions for 15 yards. But, and I saw a little bit of hashtag JMOFast hate out there. And again, there's only one football to go around. And, I'll keep banging this drum. Yes, I know we wanted Waymo season. I was all aboard on it, but #JMOFast is doing so much more with his ability to be a deep threat that it's opening up the middle of the field for all our other weapons. And yes, occasionally we are going to, you're going to see a nice catch here and there, a good deep threat. But again, 0 stats. I think he only had 2 targets this game, but every time they got to drop that deep safety back or double cover or try to jam him up at the line, it's opening up the seam and the middle of the field for everybody else. So, and Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely took advantage of that. So #JMOFast, highest paid decoy in the league starting next year. But hey, it's okay because right now the Lions are winning games and it's working. All right. Enough about the offense. I know what you guys want to hear about. You guys want to talk about this defense. Okay. First of all, I gotta start with Aaron who? Mr. Head Coach over at the Jets there. Aaron, I know at one point it was ain't great, and then it switched to Aaron great, but look, Shep deserves so much credit for this defense. I mean, we are literally playing, I think there was one game day starter on the defense in the secondary. Amik Robertson and this cast of, Rockison and Eric Halat and Arthur Mallett, Thomas Harper, Nick Whiteside, Lauren Strickland, all these guys that, half the time you don't even know if you're saying the names right because you don't even know who they are. But Shep said something that really hit me, and it really just kind of speaks to their mindset with this team. He said nameless faces. Was what he said. One of the words that he said in the post game, game ball in the locker room, and he's so right. He's so right on because the Lions and Shep have set up this system where it doesn't matter what the name on the back of the jersey is because everybody that's on that team is bought into the system. He's setting them up for success. He has the ability to get the most out of these guys, and he's setting them up for success with his schemes. Just a total masterclass by Shep. Let's talk about all 3 phases. I know I already touched on the secondary, but you go down the list and let's start up front, okay? Aleem, the Dream, aka Twinkle Toes, aka Honey Bun, aka was back with a vengeance. This defensive line was all over Baker Mayfield. And even though they may not have had all the crazy stats and sacks to match it, a lot of pressure on the quarterback, 8 QB hits. I think it was something like 12 QB pressures, 4 sacks. The defensive line was balling out. Tyleek was in on the action. Aleem was in on the action. Of course, Hutch. I felt like Hutch lived in the backfield. It was to the point where I saw some ridiculous stat where they had to bring a second guy to chip Hutch in like 60% of the snaps, which I think like the next highest of the week was like 30% against I don't know, it was like Myles Garrett or something like that. But Hutch is just feasting. And I know he was a little disappointed to not get a sack, but man, I felt like every time Baker looked up, he had 97 all over him, around him, hands in his face, hands up. The defensive line really showed up and showed out. It was great to see. Happy to see Aleem back. And this defensive front is just going to wreak havoc. They're going to absolutely wreak havoc. And now let's talk about the second phase with the linebacking crew. Derek Barnes, 2 passes defended and a sack. Again, this guy felt like he was all over the place. 5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles. Again, getting his hands up in the air, getting hands on balls. He was a menace today, as was Jack Campbell. Jack freaking Campbell, 8 tackles, 1 pass defense, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss. This linebacking core, again, just all over, dropping back in coverage, defending passes, rushing the ball, rushing the quarterback when they needed to. That middle core of Jack Campbell, Anzalone, and Derek Barnes are balling out, and they're really making life just miserable for opposing quarterbacks because they can drop back in secondary, they can come back and hit you up front, they can get behind the line of scrimmage. and Alex Anzalone, Fabio with the blonde flow with a huge tackle on 4th down to keep them from getting the first down. I believe there was some challenge on that play where, did he get the first down? Did he not get the first down? Did he cover? But, Fabio, huge play on a critical 4th down to get that turnover on downs. As a defense, they were all over Baker Mayfield. Do you remember, like, I don't know, a week ago when Baker Mayfield was like top 3, maybe even number 1 in MVP voting, right? He was like, oh, Baker Mayfield's the best odds to win NFL MVP right now. What they did to Baker Mayfield was insane. 28 for 50 for 228 yards, a 66 QB rating, 1 TD, 1 pick, 1 fumble, 4 sacks, 12 passes defended. 12. Okay? And again, I already gave you the ragtag cast of names here, but like, these are dudes that you've never even heard of. If you said you've heard of them, you're lying, because they were, several of them were in the bowling alley. They were on other teams' practice squads, elevated up and having to step in because of all the injuries and the suspension to Brian Branch. Like this group of guys, I mean, it was amazing. And I feel like it was something that Shep deserves a lot of credit for, because he had these guys ready to go in all 3 phases of the defense. It was a lot of fun to watch, only allowing 41 rushing yards. Tampa was like one of the best rushing teams in the NFL up until this game. And they got that 2-headed monster there with, Bucky Irving and Rashad White. Sean Tucker was in the mix as well. But like 41 rushing yards, just craziness. Total run stuffing up the middle. Again, credit to that defensive line and those linebackers getting up and blocking the box. There was no room to run. Baker Mayfield had to throw the ball 50 times, which is just absolutely crazy. Again, in a game where you throw the ball 50 times, you think they're like trailing big time throughout the whole game, but it really was within 2 scores all the way up until the 4th quarter or so. Again, just a total masterclass by Shep there. I'm so happy for him. The guy loves life. He loves football. You can tell he's just like a player's coach. So just a great dude. I think time after time, week after week, we keep saying it. Everybody thought this team was going to fall apart when the defensive and the offensive coordinators left, but Shep has stepped up and really balled out this game. And Johnny Moe has been doing quite well. And really that kind of leads me up into my next, category, which is like the reason why this works. And it all comes back to the culture that Dan freaking Campbell and Brad, always open for business homes, has set and put together. Like, it starts with Dan freaking Campbell. This team is so Dan Campbell. We talk about this week after week, year after year. Dan Campbell is just so grit, so Detroit. People can talk about grit and coaches come in and give all this talk, but Dan freaking Campbell just lives it, man. The guy's electric. I don't know about you, but I love every time, like every post-game, post-locker room speech, I gotta get my hands on as soon as it's available, because you never know what Dan freaking Campbell's gonna say. And he's fun at the podium. He's fun in the locker room. The guy still looks like he could play. He's a freaking alpha male. But the culture that they have established, and again, you've seen it now all last year, going 15-2 with all those injuries, and now we're 5-2 with all these injuries. They really do have this culture set, this scheme, and this system where they don't need to have an all-star at every position. Yes, we've got all-stars, we've got all-pros, we've got amazing players across the board in all the positions. But when those guys are not available and the next guy has to come up, they are in a position to succeed because of the system and the culture and maybe this guy isn't flashy, but he's going to give you everything he's got. It all starts with Dan Campbell. They don't miss very often. Yes, some people will criticize some of the, draft picks that Brad Holmes has had to have, and they panned out, or guys with injury past, free agents that we've signed that didn't pan out. But collectively overall, man, these guys are just hitting on all cylinders. They're drafting well. They're grabbing the right guys in free agency. And that's the key. Is it's not always necessarily the big name guy or the guy that's going to get paid buco bucks. It's the guy that fits what they want to do. I keep going back to, and I've been trying to, brainstorm and things. That's like, there was, this is the Patriot way. Everything was the Patriot way for 12 years. Well, we got to come up with a saying here now, because with this Lions team for the last 4 or 5 years now, like, it's been the Lions way. It's been the Dan freaking Campbell way. It's been grit. Okay. It may not be the flashiest guy. Sometimes it is, but next man up mentality, and they really do mean it. And they showed it today again with all these guys coming in that you never even heard of and just balling out and, playing their hearts out for Shep. When your coach cares about you, when you know that your defensive coordinator cares about you as a person, as a player, they want you to get better. You're going to do you're going to do everything in your power to make them look good. So, the other guy that really stood out to me, and I really wanted to give a shout out to, and it's, again, a part of this culture, Meek Robertson. Like, this dude is like all Detroit, wearing his sunglasses on the post game, wearing the Brian Branch, again, the secondary all wearing their number 32s to support their boy, Brian Branch. My boy, Brian Branch. I love it, man. And when this team gets healthy, like, you think we're dominant now. Like, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are no joke. And we really just dominated them. They could not do anything. They couldn't move the ball. Their defense had a couple of stops, but, like, again, to beat a team like this by 15 points, more than 2 touchdowns, it says something. And when we get fully healthy, like, this team, the sky is the absolute limit with this team. And I know we say it, we serve up the Kool-Aid, we talk about Super Bowls, but, like, the Lions are no doubt number one. When they are clicking on all cylinders, they're the best team in the NFL. They don't have a weakness that is really, like, even to speak of. The offense is elite from, again, quarterback, O-line, offensive line, again, gelling. They were a little leaky today. Jared Goff was scrambling a bit, but in Tampa Bay tried to expose it with their blitzing. But the offense is elite. We've got players at every position there. And then, again, the defense. Up and down the line, we got playmakers. We got ballers. The best running back duo in the NFL. The best safety duo in the NFL.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This episode is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. What do you bring to a holiday party? Simple. A bottle of Casamigos. Because nothing gets the party started like a Casamigos margarita. Which isn't just for summer. In fact, it's the perfect pour all year round. Casamigos is the gift that always feels right, because anything goes with my Casamigos. Please drink responsibly. Imported by Casamigos Spirits Company, White Plains, New York. Casamigos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew, too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Get 2 times membership rewards points per dollar on eligible purchases in key business categories, as well as on each eligible purchase of $5,000 or more, on up to $2 million in eligible purchases per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
This episode is brought to you by Contentful. Marketers, you know that feeling when your creative clicks? When that social post sends engagement through the roof? When your outside-of-the-box campaign hits ROI positive? When a personalized homepage turns prospects into customers? It's utter marketing bliss. Contentful helps you create tailored omni-channel experiences without working overtime. No stress, no limits, only possibilities. Get the feels at Contentful.com.
Lots to be happy about with these Lions. And again, I think it all just kind of starts. It starts with Dan freaking Campbell. So the fact that we can continue to have success despite all these injuries, I think I don't think there's any team that can really beat us. If in a true 11 on 11, when we don't have to face the refs like we did in Kansas City, no one can beat us. And the NFL better be afraid, because the Lions, they've been put on notice. The Lions are for real. They're the brand new Lions, and they're not going away anytime soon. I don't see any kind of drop off. I know people talk about, well, their Super Bowl window might be closing after this year because they got to pay these guys. The culture that we've established in Detroit, and it's not going away. So I anticipate zero drop off. Again, 5-2 headed into the bye week, a well-deserved break. We're going to get some guys back and healthy. Happy to have Brian Branch back. Hopefully Kerbo can come back after the break. There's some talk about DJ Reed getting closer. So lots of guys on the depth chart that are getting better, getting healthy. Looking at the schedule here. Who do we got next? We've got the Vikings that come to Ford Field to kick off November after the bye week. I just look at all these games upcoming, and nothing scares me. But you got the defending Super Bowl champs with the Eagles. You got a revenge game against the Commanders that we're going to be hyped to be ready to play that. That's in Washington. We're going to want to have a little revenge tour there. But for me, it's really all like culminating to this Thanksgiving game against the Packers, because ever since week 1, we've had to hear about, the Packers, they beat you, blah, blah, blah. They have a tie instead of a loss. They're 4-1-1, so they're higher in the division. The Lions have the highest point differential, and I think it's proven now week after week that the week 1 loss was a blip in the radar. Not going to happen again. Again, folks, we have not lost back-to-back games in over 3 years. 3 calendar years since the Lions have lost back-to-back games. And that says something about this team. That says something about this culture. That says something about this coaching staff. And I really hope that you are enjoying it as much as I do. It's been a great time to be a Lions fan over these last few years. I don't take it for granted. Enjoy it. It's kind of funny because like when we're not blowing teams out, people get all nervous. When the hashtag golf train isn't throwing for 300 yards and 3 tugs, people get a little freaked out. But guys, we're just so complete. We can run, we can throw, we can play great defense. All 3 phases of the game. Jake Bates, Jack Fox, great special teams as well. So again, all 3 phases are clicking. We're 5-2. We're the Kings in the North, and we're ready to go. I want to give you this here.
Just give me that Kool-Aid.
Because the Hatchet Man loves to serve up the Kool-Aid. I hope you're enjoying the Kool-Aid, folks. I think with the bye week here, we may have an extended little break here without some packets. Still trying to work that out with the host of the show. Still not Derek Oakrey. Shout out to @Derek Oakrey. Again, this guy has put on this. He's been running this pod for, I can't even remember how many seasons now, like 8 seasons. And the guy hasn't had much of a break at all. So he's still under the weather here, so happy to give him a break, able to step in here. But we know you were going to give you that Lions content. We know you love it. You know we're going to serve up that Kool-Aid. And folks, enjoy the bye week. We'll see you here soon. I mean, how else can I end this here? I think I just got to end it with this.
The King in the North. The King in the North.
That's right, folks. We are the King of the North. And with that being said, that's what we got. I hope you enjoyed your show. Don't forget to share the show, like the show, tweet the show. Get the people going here. Get the hype. And we'll catch you right here next time on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. I'm out.